Hey y'all, it's your girl Chirelle. This is my show, What's Poppin', where we talk all things music, movies, and entertainment. I'm so excited to be doing this episode here on my podcast, What's Poppin'. Make sure I tune in every single Wednesday to my show. Today, I do have my glasses, so if y'all see them pop on, that means I got to read. I got something to tell you. I got something important to say. But when they come up, I got a lot to talk about, okay? I got my opinions. The glasses come off when I got opinions. The glasses come on when I got to read some factual statements. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Honestly, I think I got a little too excited. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to tune in every single Wednesday to What's Poppin' with your girl, Chirelle, where we talk all things music, movies, and entertainment. Now let's get into this episode. Today we are talking about the pop girlies comeback. Now, for a little bit, I won't lie, around 2017, 2018, there's a decline in the pop girlies. The pop music, I started questioning. I feel like they were low-key declining and not really declining, but lacking in the music realm. I felt like pop music was like off the charts popping. People were watching the award shows, like the American Award Show. Like those were the Billboard Awards. Those were like the pop type of award shows, and I feel like those award shows have kind of transitioned to not be as popular because the pop music has not been popping as we expect it to. Now, in my personal opinion, I feel like there have been couple videos on YouTube, like this one talking about pop music is dead. And homegirl, first of all, loved her video. Absolutely loved everywhere she went. Definitely recommend y'all checking it out after this. I will link it down below. I think it was very educational as far as she went back. Her YouTube video was speaking on the transition of pop music and from how it went from the pop era, literally Y2K, where pop was like the music style back in the 2000s, early 2000s. That's when pop was really like hit it off. And then mid 2000s, 2010 era, that was a whole different pop music era in and of its own. Personally, for me, I think that was like the epitome of what pop was. Like the early 2000s, that was like Y2K pop music, and love that. I think it definitely laid a foundation of pop, not really a foundation, but a foundation as to the transition. I think that was like one of those eras of transition of pop music, because I feel like pop music started way earlier than that. The one song that I'm really thinking about is Take On Me, Take On Me. I don't know if that's necessarily pop, but that's what pop reminds me of in that time. It was very electric type of sound. And then in Y2K, it became more of, more Britney Spears. Who is that? Britney Spears and who else are like notable names? Christina Aguilera and NSYNC. Like that was the pop music era. It was very futuristic but not futuristic type of vibe. If that makes any sense. I think if y'all are catching my drift, please let me know in the comments down below. I think y'all are catching my drift though. But like, I feel like that was the era that the 2000s Y2K style was really giving. Very girly, very pink, very pop in your face type of vibe. And then we get to the mid 2000s, which I feel like explain what pop music was. And by pop music, I mean Katy Perry, California Girls, Teenage Dream, The One That Got Away. What others? Like Katy Perry. Katy Perry is the epitome of what pop music was, and she really opened everyone's eyes. You had Katy Perry, you had, even Beyonce and Rihanna and Nicki Minaj was in their pop girly era in this time. The red hair, the colored wigs, like even, what's her name, Beyonce, she even did her little pop 1, 2, 3 for countdown. Well, she was going the other way. She didn't go 1, 2, 3, she went 3, 2, 1 type of vibe. You get what I'm trying to say. But I feel like that was the epitome of what pop music was, for at least for my upbringing. For Gen Z, that was the epitome of pop music in that era specifically. Then 2015, 2018, 2015, we're like, okay, we good, still pop music, still having a good time type vibe. But then 2017, 2018, where was the music? The reason I say 2015 was like, okay, we were still in there is because that's when Ariana Grande came out. Ariana Grande was pop, not just came out. I wouldn't say came out, but she popped out. That's when Ariana Grande was really like pushing out music, and we was all like vibe, Ariana Grande type of vibe. Arianators, yeah. Now, here's my take on pop music transitioning now. I feel as though we are in this era that music is definitely transitioning in specific genres and specific styles. And for pop specifically, I feel like we're not in that same era of pop, pop, pop in your face type of music, like the candy canes, like California Girls and the colored wigs. Now everything is more like, I think in a way we kind of, because I feel like pop music, when we think about pop music, we think about being young, we think about being free type of vibe. And I feel like that sound is kind of transitioning to be more mature versus so kid-like. And I don't think pop music is for kids anymore. I really do think that that's kind of the transition that we've gone into as far as pop music. And the reason I say this is because some of the pop artists that I feel like are being the stars of pop right now, because some of our pop artists want to take a break and not put out big music like we expected them to. Except for Ariana Grande, she's coming back. Have you heard? Yes. And said it in your chest. And I do think that there have been some new pop girlies and pop artists that have come out and that are setting the stage as to what pop music is. And two of the artists that I really want to bring up, it's one of them is Sabrina Carpenter. I feel like Sabrina Carpenter is one of those artists that hasn't really been getting the level of respect that she deserves. And I am guilty of that. I was guilty of that. I've transitioned, in the last 5 years of listening to her music. Sabrina Carpenter, she came from Disney, from the show Girl Meets World, Boy Meets World. I think it's Girl Meets World because it was the spin-off of Boy Meets World. But yeah, so Sabrina Carpenter, she is, I want to say she's like 24 years old because she's 1 year older than me, literally by 1 year and 5 days. We're basically siblings. I started listening to her back in, with what album was it? What was it? Act 2. That's when I started listening to Sabrina Carpenter. And when I tell you, I definitely have that album even in my R&B playlist. Guilty. I won't even lie. Definitely guilty. But then she came out with her other album, which was Emails I Can't Send. And that one came out in 2022. And one of the hottest hits from that song that has been definitely making waves in the pop music as well as in TikTok and stuff like that is her song Nonsense. Everyone's been loving the tour that she went on tour with Taylor Swift, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. She went on tour with Taylor Swift, and so she was able to perform that. I think she also went on tour, a solo tour of her own, and everyone loved that on this. Whenever she would perform Nonsense, the ending was always switched up, and so everyone would love the trend of seeing what the new ending would be depending on what city she was in. And then she has like this cute heart-shaped dress that I absolutely fits her beautifully, like a glove. Literally, in my personal opinion, iconic for her. Like that's one thing I love about the pop music and the artists is that when it comes to their style, they have a specific look that fits them that makes you remember who that artist is specifically. So whenever I think of Sabrina Carpenter, I think of a fitted, sparkly, heart-shaped dress. That is what I think of. And then the second artist that I would want to say as one of the, artist that I think has been making waves in the pop music era, pop music genre is Tate McRae. She is a new artist. She's apparently Canadian. I did not know that she's Canadian, but she's been coming out with a lot of new songs. I think one of the ones that has been really popular is Greedy. That one came out on her album Think Later in 2023. I think that's the one. Or is that Exes? But I think that those are two specific artists that I think have really shown what pop music is in the transition that it's going through. I think another notable artist to speak up on is Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is one of those pop artists that reminds me of the new Gen Z version of Katy Perry because she gives a very mature look. Dua Lipa is one of those artists that she really has worked to be the pop artist in pop music. I think that people should definitely give her credit, give credit where credit is due because she has came out with hit after hit after hit, never misses a beat anytime. And that's in her performances. are pop performances. And I think people forget that when it comes to pop music, when it comes to the pop genre, it's not just the music, but it's also the performances. And each of those three artists literally give pop performances top notch. They give what pop music is. And I think it has to do with this transition of pop music. Pop music is going through a transition of maturing. It's not in a groovy electric type style like it was back in the day, like the 70s and the 80s. And it's not in a very pop in your face futuristic type of style like it was in 2000s. And it's not very candy cane girly kid like it was in the mid 2000s. Right now we're going through a transition. Shoot, it's 2023. From 2020 to like now, no, it's 2024. How did I mess that up? Anyways, so it's 2024, and I feel like we have to realize we are all very much in a different type of zone when it comes to music and the style that we listen to. And I think that there's a more mature style when it comes to music. And that's why I said I don't think pop music is for kids anymore. I think that kids may need a whole new genre for themselves, because pop music today with these top artists, it's not giving for kids. It's not at all. And that's not a bad thing. I actually like the fact that there are pop artists for the people who are our age now. But then again, if we think about it, when we were kids, we were definitely singing certain songs that we shouldn't have been singing as kids because we didn't really understand what it meant. So, yeah. Oh, one more artist that I wanted to speak on because she just came out with the movie Mean Girls, the musical. She plays Regina George, Renee Rapp. Homegirl. First of all, I don't really care for Mean Girls, the musical. I don't really care for musicals. I don't really care for the series or whatever. But I do like the aesthetic of it. I have seen them, so it's like, okay, cool. Respect it, not mad at it or whatever. It's just not my cup of tea, type of vibe. But I will say Renee Rapp, her songs that she has put out, first of all, she's doing the music industry correct because she's collaborating with other genres, with other artists outside of her genre. And that's very important when it comes to being an artist, is can you explore other genres while also staying in yours, because you're trying to introduce yourself to other audiences. Like she has collaborated with Coco Jones. Y'all know I love me some Coco. She's collaborated with Coco Jones on the song Tummy Hurts. And then she had Megan Thee Stallion feature on the song Not My Fault. She had Megan Thee Stallion feature on that song. And that music video eats. Love that one. First of all, probably gonna be my 2024 song of the year type of vibe, because that one just eats. The visuals, the music, the vibe is literally like, girl, you all there in a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely recommend all four of those pop artists. I think that pop music is in a transition. I don't think it's dead. I think it's in a transition. But it is pop music, I think, went through a phase where it's like, okay, it was dying, but it's not dead. It's in transition. It's growing. I think that's what it is. Pop music is going through puberty right now. That is exactly what it is. Pop music is going through puberty. Like, as I think, because I'm like, okay, I'm saying that it's going through it's like maturing, it's growing up, but it's just like pop music is literally going through puberty because we're all talking about our emotions, like explicitly talking about our emotions, talking about the things that we're going through, talking about the dudes that we're talking to, talking about literally everything that happens when you're going through puberty. That is exactly what pop music is going through. I said it. There you go. But hope you guys enjoyed this segment. We're going to transition to movies next. Keep it up. What's next? What are we speaking on next? So next thing we're going into is the movie segment. And this segment is not just about movies. It's actually about series, TV shows, characters, and all that good stuff. Something I was thinking about when I was planning out today's show is I was thinking about the fact of how certain characters I draw closer to than other characters. I sympathize more with certain characters than I do with others. And specifically when it comes to superheroes. When it comes to superheroes who usually lose a lot of control or are seen as the most powerful are usually the ones who rely on their strength through their emotions. Now, PSA, before we get into this, I am going to get a little geeky, just a little geeky in this specific segment, but it's okay. Don't hate me. I just love what I love, you know what I'm saying? But I was noticing, based off of certain characters from shows that I've watched and movies that I've watched, I usually go with, whenever I'm like, oh, I like this character, like this is my favorite character in the movie or in the series, is usually because they are the most emotional. They literally are the most emotional. And I would think, I'm like, no, they're the most powerful. But in reality, they are actually the most emotional, and that's what makes them the most powerful or the most dangerous. And specific characters that I'm talking about is Wanda from WandaVision, Vanya/Victor Hargreaves from Umbrella Academy, and Jean Grey from X-Men. Something that I really want to speak on when it came to those specific characters is the fact of, like, each of them, the reason why they had so much power is because they relied a lot on their emotions, whether it was pain, whether it was isolation, or it was a feeling of confusion or loss. Specifically, when it comes to Wanda, you could see that in the show WandaVision. And some of the things that I want to point out was she took over an entire town and controlled the minds of the people. And she set the scenes based off of TV shows that she grew up watching. And she even created her own kids and brought Vision back to life. Backstory. So she had already lost Vision, and it's hard to explain, but basically she had to kill him and then watch him die. And that was like the last love that she had in her life. Because prior to that, her brother had died because he got killed. And then prior to that, her parents got killed when she was a kid. So it's like Wanda was dealing with a lot of pain and hurt from loss of loved ones, people that she truly did love. And from all of that pain, she ended up creating an entire new type of world in a specific town based off of shows that she watched when she was a kid, based off of her love that she has for her parents, for her brother, for her husband, to now creating children of their own. And a lot of what was crazy was, like, yes, in the end, we found out she's the Scarlet Witch. Ooh, crazy. Not that crazy. It's actually kind of crazy, but we're not gonna touch on that. But what got me to think about it is the fact of, like, she knew that part of herself, but it wasn't a well-known information to the rest of us who were watching. And a lot of the power and her pain and her strength came from the pain of loss and hurt that she was going through. And one of the characters, let me get her name, Abigail. That's not her real name, but in the show, the character's name was Abigail. But the real name of the witch was Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness was another witch who played a part in Wanda's town. Now, she knew what was going on. However, Agatha wanted Wanda's power. And something that really got to me was when Agatha was saying, like, you don't know the simple rules. Like, these are simple spells that, like, you should know from the spell book type of vibe. Now, I'm not promoting witchcraft and stuff like that, but what I am saying is the fact that, like, Wanda didn't understand the rules or understand her power based off of instructions. Like, she wasn't taught about her power. She just had her power and she just used it, type of thing. And a lot of the strength and power came from her emotions, how she was feeling. If she was frustrated, she would, when she was frustrated, when she was frustrated, she tried to strangle everybody. Did she do that on purpose? No. That's why she apologized to everybody, because she didn't realize what she was doing. And it was because of her emotions. So I think that's really something to take into account when it comes to Wanda's character. The second character that I was talking about was Vanya Hargreaves, which later turned to Victor Hargreaves. And the reason why I brought up that character is because Vanya, as a child, was literally isolated. Like, literally was isolated. She was put in a room and was not allowed to talk to anybody. And then was told, rumored, and believed that she did not have any gifts. So she grew up thinking that she had no gifts at all, like whatsoever, while all her siblings did have power. And so that was one thing that she grew up learning, just to find out later on that her father had died. So they all come back to the house so that they could all be together, bury him, really be there, because the death of their dad just happened. While they're all at the house, she gets isolated and iced out again. So not only was she isolated when she was a kid, she got excluded as an adult. Now, mind you, she did write a book exposing everybody and how her upbringing was. Was it a successful book? No, it wasn't. It was actually a flop. But that's not the point. It's not the fact that it was a flop. It was the fact that, like, she was going through a lot. That's why she wrote a book. And then when she got older, she got excluded anyways. And which is like, okay, understood like why they excluded her for that reason. However, you could still at least have a conversation, talk about it, and like, you know, get to the bottom of what was really going on, what was really happening type of vibe. And so then when all of that happened, all of that blew up and she found out that she had powers, of course a lot of stuff have happened, some issues she had went through. Like the first guy that ever liked her turned out to be a villain, turned out to be the person who was actually plotting against her. Yet she didn't understand that because she just found out that she had powers. So there was a lot going on emotionally, and a lot of her powers were based off of her emotions. So she couldn't really understand and comprehend how to control her emotions or how to control her powers because she didn't know how to control her emotions. I mean, she was literally on pills as a kid to control her emotions. So I can understand why she felt the way that she felt and blew up the moon and caused the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Like, she literally didn't know what to do with her powers. That's just based off of season 1. Season 2, season 3, you know, I think that she definitely grew, learned, became Victor. So, like, you know, growth. And that's what matters. Growth. But this third character that I want to bring up that I've always thought about as a kid, I never really liked her, but I always liked her power. And that's Jean Grey from X-Men. And I never understood, like, why I was drawn to her, but also was just like, why are you like that? Like, why do you literally shut everybody out? It's because of her powers. Like, based off of my research, Jean Grey had powers of telekinesis and telepathy. And then she got shot up with the Phoenix power. So then that just made her even more power and a force to be reckoned with. And because she already barely knew how to comprehend and how to understand her own power before the Phoenix, and then now you add on the Phoenix of that power, I think there was a lot going on that she already didn't understand. And so then having that to add onto her plate really just messed with her emotions even more. Because you gotta remember, she literally killed her parents. Or not her parents, she killed her mother. But then she also thought that she killed her father because of Xavier. So, like, honestly, I think the reasons why most of these characters are seen as the most dangerous is because they don't have control. And the reasons they don't have control is because they're basing a lot of their control on their emotions. And we all know that emotions are not the easiest to control. When you feel it, you feel it. And you got to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't feel out those emotions, if you don't talk it out, if you don't understand those emotions, a lot of stuff can happen. Bad stuff can happen. You can become a very dangerous person. And I think that was some of the key moments that I realized about those specific characters is the fact that the reason why people see them as the most dangerous or the most powerful is because their strength comes from their emotions. So however they're feeling, if they're frustrated, that power is going to have more fuel to the fire. I think that's something to definitely keep in mind when it comes to the most powerful character is, okay, are they the most powerful because of their powers and because they understand their powers and how to use them? Or are they uncontrollable and just dangerous? That's the question that I have. Another thought that I had was, okay, what if, like, in these specific times when they were, like, blowing up the world or causing an apocalypse or really very dangerous, taking over an entire town, well, then they, like, on their monthly, like, because, you know, when you're at that time of the month, they're all females. When you're at that time of the month, your emotions are high, and your hormones are imbalanced, you can become very dangerous. So, like, maybe that added fuel to the fire. I don't know. I'm just saying. It could be the reason. Maybe. We'll get into the next segment, which is entertainment. Because I got a lot to talk about. And why, I'm trying to understand why these teenagers look older than me. And I'm 23. Okay, let's get into it. So in this segment of entertainment, I just really want to understand as to why teenagers don't look like teenagers anymore. Like, why am I looking at some of these teenage celebrities and they look like they're older than me? and I'm 23. Like, I literally am about to turn 24 in a couple of months. And I'm looking at some of these celebrities. I'm looking at pictures on Pinterest. I'm like, oh, she cute. Who is she? Then I go find her. I'm on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, I like her beat. Her face look good. Like, let me see. Let me go to her page. And I start looking, and it says high school. Hairstyles for high school. Back to school fit, senior year. Of what, college? No, high school. What do you mean? Why is it that some of these celebrities are allowing their kids to just look so grown? Now, mind you, am I saying that they don't look cute? No, they look real cute. That's why I'm going to their page for inspiration. And I think my thing is, I just feel like when it comes to the age difference, I think it's really, I personally feel like the beauty standards and makeup guru, like all of those people have really shifted what makeup is used for. I think there's two sides to makeup. There's the creative side, and then there's like, there's three sides to it. The creativity of it, then there's the natural look where you're really just like using makeup to like cover up blemishes and stuff like that. And then there's like that area where it's just like you just went off the rails and have shape shifted your entire face in 35 minutes, which I'm not understanding as to why. And I think the thing is, for me, it's just like growing up, makeup was seen as like, okay, you can use makeup, but it was like certain ages, that's when you would kind of be more mature, so you can use more makeup and stuff like that. Now, am I saying that children these days or teenagers these days shouldn't be using makeup, shouldn't be wearing makeup? No, that's not what I'm saying. If you want to wear makeup, do what you want to do. However, some of the looks that are being done completely changes what your face looks like and reconstructs your entire look completely. And not just in makeup, but also in the fits. Like, why was I looking at a video and Jodie Woods, like Jordan Woods' younger sister, who is like, I think she's like 16, 17 years old. Why did you see a thong coming out of her pants? What? That doesn't make any sense to me, because I'm just like, hang on. Not only was it that type of outfit, it was a thong type of thing coming out of like some fluffy pants. Not only was she wearing that fit, but she wore it in public, and she was right next to her mother. What? And I think what pisses me off is like, you're 16, 17 years old, maybe 18, but it's just like, why are you trying to be such an adult? Like, I think when we're young, we're like, oh yeah, I want to be an adult, I want to be grown, But it's like, there are limits. There should be limits to certain things that we do, certain standards, certain looks and styles that shouldn't be introduced at certain ages. And I think that it's nice to know that, like, okay, everyone can be an influencer, anybody can be an influencer, but it's just like certain celebrities have put on this persona that, and now younger people, younger children, younger students, younger generations literally think that that should be the standard for them as well. And it's like, yes, that's an aspirational look to look into, but not for your life right now. Like, I think that certain influencers have shown what it's like, okay, you can be a celebrity, you can be young and really just look good and stuff like that. But it's like, why are you looking like you're my age? Like, why is, and no shade to Marseille Martin, I love her, Sky Jackson, love them too, love that they are two strong Black young women who have taken their career to new heights and they look good on the red carpets and stuff. But why are some of their looks looking like 26-year-old pictures and red carpet looks that like Ryan Destiny and Kiki Palmer and Zendaya are doing when they are 5, 6 years older than them? Like, that's one thing I just don't understand and can't comprehend, is like, why is it that the styles of older generations is now a style that younger children and younger people, younger girls and guys are doing now? Like, why is that a thing? Why is that the set standard? Like, that's, and I think that's what pisses me off and irritates me the most, is the fact that it's now a standard look. Like, certain fitted clothes and like showing a lot of cleavage, like that's now a certain look. Getting lashes done and getting your nails done, acrylics and stuff like that, that's now the standard. And it's like, if you don't have that, you could possibly be bullied in school because you don't have the certain look that everyone else does. For me, I'm just like, okay, you're a child. You should be like a child. You should grow up being a child. When you're 16, you should be 16. Yes, it's cool to look at celebrities who are 26, 30, and stuff like that. It's just like, wow, certain influencers have made the culture shift on what it means to be a teenager. Like celebrities like Jodie Woods and her Alabama Barker. And I think it has to do with older celebrities. Like, yeah, okay, like, yes, those parents are allowing their kids to dress like those certain ways. And I think that's a problem because your child isn't just doing that look because they like the look, but they think that that look is proper, or is like, yes, it's cool that the kid likes that look, but there are also, you're setting the standard for every other child in the world because your child is an influencer. The whole point of being an influencer is to influence someone. And if teenagers around the world are looking at this and thinking that this is the aspirational look, then that's what they're going to look for. And I think what really gets to me even more is the fact that, like, it's not just about girls being insecure about their body or about their look or about what they should be having, but it's also for guys. They're going to be looking at that. Y'all, I think what gets me is the fact that, like, why are they wearing lingerie and posting that as their profile picture? I'm speaking about Alabama Barker. Like, why is that your profile picture? Why is it laced lingerie type of style in your closet? And why is that being approved? Because you're literally, like, now you're 19, but, like, that mentality, you're not, I don't know, I feel like you're just not, that's not a mature age to be doing stuff like that. And am I saying that they're wrong to do that? Yes, I am. Honestly, I just feel like it's wrong because you're influencing a generation that doesn't even know what it means to be a teenager. We already talking about how pop music has become more mature, and that style is not very teenage-like. It's like it's growing up and stuff like that. But it's like, do they have anything for themselves? Do they have anything for 16-year-olds? Like, why is crop tops now being sold for toddlers? Toddlers. 5th graders. Like, at this point, everybody getting, what's it called? What's that thing called? Well, you know what? Dress coded. That's what everybody's getting. Everybody should be getting dress coded. Because clearly it did not stop anybody. Like, some of these people are not being dress coded, and that's the problem. And I think that social media doesn't dress code. Social media literally does not dress code anybody. No one dress codes anything. No one, like, calls you out and stuff like that. And if you do get called out, it's like, oh, forget you. Like, I'm living my life. I'm doing whatever I want. I can live how I want. I can dress how I want. And it's like, if you like it, you like it. However, do realize that you're opening up Pandora's box. You're allowing certain things to be seen a certain way. So now when people look at you thinking you're older than what you are, you can't be mad at them. You're the one who dressing like someone's older than you. You literally shapeshift your entire face to look a certain way. So, like, I don't know. For me, I personally don't like it. I don't think that teenagers need to be dressed in the same way that they dress in the same way as a 26, 30-year-old. Like, the reason why a 26-year-old is dressing the way that they are dressing is because they have the mentality and understand what that look actually means. Like, they're not trying to put on a style just because it's a trend. Like, no, they're putting on that style because they understand what it means, what it looks like, how to wear it out, how the outfit should fit, you know? But hey, actually, hey, I don't like it. I really do think that teenagers should be teenagers at the age of being a teenager. And then when they get older, then transition in the outfit choices that they want to do. If you want to dress more seductive and wear lace and stuff like that when you're older, cool, have fun, have at it. But when you're a child, when you're young, when you're a minor, like, bro, dress like a child, just like your age. Why are you older? Why do you look older than me, but you are way younger than me? That don't make sense. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of What's Poppin' with your girl, Chirelle. Make sure to tune in every single Wednesday to What's Poppin' on my Spotify, as well as check out all of my different YouTube videos here on my YouTube channel called Just Chirelle. Make sure you follow me on social media at Just Chirelle on all platforms, Instagram and TikTok, and of course, Twitter. See ya!